Hey guys, and welcome to the latest Sleepy Talk podcast. Today I'm joined with Steve, Scott, and PT60 Foul.
How you doing, guys?
Yo, what up?
Hey.
So today, amazingly, we're going to be talking about something completely different to what we usually do, but that's been the running theme for like the past, 3-4 videos. And James is starting to enjoy himself here. I can see his smile.
I always enjoy myself here. You know about no matter what we talk about, as long as we're talking, it's what I do best.
Scott's a little bit less grumpy, so that's good.
Yes.
And Steve, yeah, I don't know why he's still here.
I'm still albino.
Yeah.
We're all
So-
a bit albino at this point, though. Let's face it, we're going to stay in his house.
Yeah, I've got rickets
Give me
times
that
3.
vitamin D.
Yeah, definitely vampirism of some level by the end
Yeah.
of this second lockdown.
Speaking of vampires, well, are they in it? No, they're not. But if you couldn't tell from the background, we're going to be talking about Hogwarts: A Legacy, which, to be fair, I'm really, really excited about. So I'll just start anyway. So Harry Potter was definitely like a huge part of my childhood. I remember my nan, grandma, getting me the first book in 1997. I think it was either 4 or 5, and literally only a young whippersnapper learning to read. And she got that from Tesco, from Big Tesco, before it turned into Big Tesco. Do you remember that Tesco?
I remember
With
it well.
McDonald's
It's
inside.
where Arnold Clark was.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
get to
one.
know, man. I know exactly what you mean
Yeah.
off the roundabout. Oh, aye.
Yeah.
Aye. Yeah.
And they just moved across to the other side of the roundabout.
Yeah.
Made
pretty
no
much,
sense.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
worked there.
Yeah, you did. It's not relevant, Steve. All right. I don't know why you're still here. So yeah, it turned into like a ritual. I can't remember whether we went to the midnight release of the Chamber of Secrets, because I don't think they did midnight releases then. But I do remember going to going to the Prisoner of Azkaban release.
Yeah, I
at
don't
midnight.
remember when those releases were like introduced. I can't remember like the first film that was sort of, oh, you can see it at midnight. I swear I didn't pay any attention until the MCU, and even then I didn't really pay much attention. But still,
These were the
continue
books.
on.
These were
Oh, the books. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my lord,
Yeah.
we're going right back, aren't we? Of course.
So,
of course.
yeah, forgive me if I'm wrong. I think we did the Chamber of Secrets, but I definitely know that we did the Prisoner of Azkaban. So at midnight, we'd go get
Yeah.
the book, and then you'd smell that new, fresh book smell, and then you'd have to go to sleep because you can't read anything 'cause it's too late and you're 7 and you need to go to bed.
And I thought I was a nerd.
yeah. Well, so and then we did that for so on. So needless to say, I was kind of obsessed with the world of Harry Potter, and without adding a pun here, it was a magical time for me. Since growing up, though, I've slacked off a lot when it comes to keeping engaged with it. I've been to Harry Potter World, taking the girlfriend, etc., but I've never been like the same sort of thing. But
There's not as much to get engaged in, though, is there?
no,
Like since it finished and whatnot, apart from, as you say, like things like Harry Potter World, you've got your theme park style things and that, but apart from, the Wizarding World films, you've not really had anything to sink your teeth into, have you?
No, but I
No.
think this is the thing for me, is the nostalgia has come back, because it's not a remake of the Harry Potter sort of timeline. It's not Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah.
It literally is a whole new
Going
storyline.
right back, yes. I can imagine how you're feeling is how I felt discovering the Old Republic in Star Wars, like that completely new world to discover. Because you know that when you go back in time in these fandoms, it's always better.
It is,
Yeah.
because the mistakes that they made for the later one, well, the older ones, but the newer ones, they rectify for the older / newer stuff.
Yeah.
very confusing, but-
Yeah, it's funny that, it goes back in time, but things are somehow better.
Yeah. So as you said, this one's set in the late 1800s or 19th century, and guess who went to Hogwarts in the late 1800s?
Dumbledore.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say, go on, wait for someone to drop it.
So will we be classmates with Dumbledore? That is the question. So
Maybe.
you know,
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if they didn't include him. I feel that if they've got the ability to tap into characters that are going to be tickling your heartstrings, they're going to be straight on that. No question.
100%.
Yeah.
So I imagine there'll be references to Grindelwald, but he didn't go to Hogwarts. He went to Durmstrang, if I believe rightly. Durmstrang,
That's correct. Yeah,
that's the one.
yeah, Durmstrang.
So, but they were childhood friends, and they both lived in Godric's Hollow. So, I imagine there'll be references to him.
Surely, even if it's just a mention, you know, some way or another, there's surely got to be.
Yeah. So, it's rumored to be subscription based. I don't know how they're gonna do that, given it's a single player thing.
Are we talking World of Warcraft style?
That's what I was thinking, but
right,
it is rumored to be a single player game that will have co-op later down the line, but not MMO style. So I don't know how they're going to do that unless it's only available on, let's say, like an EA, obviously probably not EA, but an EA subscription sort of based thing. Can't buy it separately.
That sounds strange. I don't know what I think of that.
Are they meant to be making a single player then? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah,
so it's starting off as single player, then going, from what I read, co-op style like the Marvel's Avengers game that's just recently come out.
Yeah, I can't see them doing a subscription-based service if it's going to be single player. Like, even if they add multiplayer down the line, they might then implement it then.
Yeah.
But, like, starting out, no, I can't see it happening.
No, this is where I'm thinking, like, where the rumors have come from. Maybe, just maybe, it's you can't buy it as a standalone. Maybe you will have to pay into a subscription to access it.
Possibly.
Which I think games are pretty much going that way right now. It's making more and more sense to pay $5.99 a month and have a catalogue of libraries to download and try out than it is to just buy a game on its own.
Yeah.
It's just the way the world's going right now. It's the same with film now as well. Having a subscription to Disney Plus, you get all the newer films and things.
Yeah.
So.
I think definitely more with films and stuff. I think when it comes to games, you still get people like me who, whenever I have something that's a subscription-based service for instance, a particular games console, if there's something like that and you've got all the access to all these games for only this price, they're not my games. And not for a moment do I feel like they are. And I prefer to own a game. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I prefer to own it.
That actually makes sense because I have that sort of mentality as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather own it because if anything goes wrong or you don't want it anymore, you can't play that game anymore. That's not your game. So, yeah, I can fully understand that.
Exactly. Say you're a $5 short 1 month and you're right in the middle of a game you're really enjoying. Not your game.
Or they remove it while you're playing it, which has happened to my kids.
Yeah.
Then I've had to go out and buy the game as well.
That's another thing that bugged me as well. Like,
Double
you're
cost,
really into a game, you've not finished it yet, or you're really enjoying the multiplayer, and it comes off the Game Pass, and you're like, bruh, what was that?
What? And then
I get it.
One simple choice: buy the game or don't, or leave it forever.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think there is a benefit to it. There's definitely a benefit to it where you can try out a game, see if you like it.
And I have, absolutely been there. Definitely.
So I paid £1 for 3 months of Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
Just to try out Sea of Thieves because people were wanting to play it, and I'm glad that I paid £1 for it because
might as well worth it.
That got yeeted off my hard drive within about an hour of me playing it. I just couldn't be bothered with it. It was just like Fortnite pirates. No.
Fortnite pirates, that's a good description for it.
Fair.
Except for it's very difficult to build anything on that game. But it's just maybe it will be behind like a subscription wall, but I get the whole sentiment that it won't be our game to play. However, if we are paying monthly for something like that, maybe when DLC does come out, it's automatically installed. You don't have to pay for it. There is no paywall because the paywall has already been met. If that makes sense.
I know what you're saying.
That makes sense.
I mean, for me, it's like then make a single player game, do a season pass like everybody else.
Just took the words straight out my mouth.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Just do a season pass then, and then you've got it. You know what I mean? And then you either buy the ones you want or you don't, or you get the season pass because you're a big fan and you know you want them all. Simple.
Yeah.
You know?
I think there's with season passes though, with a lot of games, I'm very disappointed in what you actually get with them. I think the only one that I've gotten along with is Rocket League, surprisingly.
See, for me, I think you really have to look into the roadmap of a game first, because as a game comes out, unless there is a special edition of a game that I specifically want, because I'm just a huge fan of that game, and it comes with the season pass, I never buy the season pass straight off the bat because I want to wait, just like I say, to see the roadmap, to see what the developers are going to do, and if the DLC is worth it, season pass it is.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Yeah. I made the mistake with Destiny. Now, Scott...
I think we all made the mistake with Destiny, don't we?
I thankfully swept in on the nice and deliciously free time in Destiny's life where I did not pay a penny, because the first one just disappointed me. I played it, I did enjoy it for a time, but then I finished it and didn't even really realise that I'd finished it. I think we can all agree that when you finished the campaign of the first Destiny, you did not know that you had finished it. You had no idea. It was just like the end of a mission, and it just ended, and then you were just back to the map again. And I was like, right, okay, where's the rest of the content? Oh, I have to pay for it all. Right.
Yeah.
The story is Destiny's life, isn't it?
It's so frustratingly good. That's the only way I can describe it.
I did get mad into Destiny 2 for ages, man. It's just moved away from it.
Yeah, I don't know why they ruined the formula that they had for Destiny 1. But this isn't a podcast about Destiny, because we'd be here for 3 months.
Speaking of the new Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy has just clicked. So we were talking how potentially being subscription-based, like down the line or whichever, but the game's actually priced up.
Is it?
It's priced up at $59.99.
Oh, really?
And I'm not sure if that's a pre-order price or that was because it was meant to launch, weren't it?
This year, wasn't it?
This year, but it's been pushed back to 2022.
Yeah.
So, unless if that was something to have been spoken about, like being subscription based, maybe after you buy the base game, but multiplayer is subscription based. That's the only thing I could think of.
That would make sense.
However, do you know how much of a shitstorm they're going to sort of cause by making people pay for multiplayer? When
it is. It is going to be one of them things.
Xbox and PC, which has free multiplayer anyway, but you already pay for PS4, PS5, Xbox online anyway. So
problem is though, what name's on the front cover? So
PlayStation.
They're all going to do it anyway. No, more the fact it's Harry Potter, man. As soon as that name is on anything, shell out that cash. People do it anyway. Of course they will.
Know, don't they?
Of course they will. It's Harry Potter.
Developers, like, they take advantage of a game such like Harry Potter, and they know, like, people will moan about it, and I fully understand why, but people still pay it. It's like me with, obviously, going back to D2. Like, it annoys me how much the expansions can be, but at the same time, I know I'm going to buy it. Because I was really into the game. I've kind of drifted off a little bit now, but
when you're really into something, you will pay.
Yeah, you will. You'll just buy it.
Yeah.
It used to be that you buy it because you wanted to support the developers and stuff, and you felt like you paying that money helped a long way towards the game that you're invested in. Whereas
I know exactly what you mean.
Now it feels like you have to pay it. Because if you don't pay it, you'll miss out.
For me, I just don't feel like we live in the same gaming world anymore. I do not feel for a second like, not all of them, and I really do want to make that clear, but so many developers in this day and age do not care about you, the receiver. They just care about the money. That's it. They're not interested.
Monetized.
That's why they've just trounced so many games. You know, how many times have they flopped Star Wars related stuff? Because it's got the Star Wars name on it. So rush it out. It's fine. People will buy it. Don't worry about it. And they keep on doing it, and this is what I worry about with Harry Potter. I hope that they don't just use that name to get those sales and then just completely whiff it.
Well, let's hope not, because I can remember playing Harry Potter on PlayStation 1 and I absolutely loved it.
Too right,
That
was
awesome, that
way.
Yeah.
It was a boss game.
Hagrid looking like a rock with a face.
It was a
Potato.
boss game.
Yeah, he really did. Honestly, it was like a spud.
Yeah.
But they don't make that many Harry Potter games, do they, really, now? Like, they're not so, like, out there compared to some of the other games that they constantly make, like Call of Duty, FIFA and stuff like that.
Is it still Warner Bros. Who do it?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, but it's this is Avalanche Software, not Avalanche Studios. So it's not the same team that did Just Cause, but it is the same team, if that makes any sense to you.
It's
From what I
so
was
weird
reading into it,
sometimes.
So it's not Avalanche Studios, it's Avalanche Software Studios, or just Avalanche Software.
So it's like a subsidiary of it's like a sort of child company, if you will.
It is Avalanche, but if it flops, it's not Avalanche.
It's like I know what you mean. It's like it's the smart way of having the A and B team, like BioWare, didn't it? You had the A team working on Mass Effect and the B team working on Dragon Age. One company, two teams, But if you change the name, you can bin it off, can't you? It's not attached to you. Genius, Welcome to the corporate world.
Yeah. But so I mean, if it is the same team that did Just Cause and things like that, I'm excited. But touching up on what you've just said, Scott, it's very reminiscent to Superman games. Now, Superman, DC, huge names. Have you played a Superman game and enjoyed it?
I've never played one. I'll be honest. I've never
because
played a
they
Superman
are
game.
so difficult to do.
Yeah, they're not good. The one on the N64 was one of the most diabolically unplayable piles of you've ever come across. Like, it was devastating. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Anthem, I know that flopped, but the flight mechanics in Anthem were very, very good. And if you adopted that into like an Iron Man game or a Superman game, that would be pretty good.
It broke my heart with that.
But you know what?
I'm looking forward to it so much. I was so hyped.
Every single game that's labelled a Destiny killer has flopped.
Oh no, all on them. Anthem, Division, like they've all like sort of not got up there. Like they have like on launch, they've been popular, but then they've dropped off, which is something like Destiny continues.
Do you know what though?
It still continues.
One little observation that always blew my mind when it came to like how genius Bungie are, right? Because they obviously made the Halo series, one of the greatest. You know, whether you're a fan or not, just in general, it is one of the greatest game series ever created. And then they got rid of that, sold it to Microsoft. They were right, we're going to make something new. And then they made unbelievable more amounts of money, made Halo again. like they literally basically just made Halo again, called it Destiny, and then made loads more money. I can't believe how genius these guys are. It's insane. Like when you break Destiny down, like it's the similarities are wild.
Yeah, it's just instead of there are a lot of differences.
The universe of Destiny. Like, really, I do. This is not me knocking it. This is like, it's like ripping on a mate. You love it, but, it's one of those things that you just do. But, man, honestly, like, it's genius. It's genius.
I could see Scott's face just like the inner turmoil on his face. Not Master Chief.
No, I actually agree. Like, Bungie are a really good set of developers. Like, the imagination on things, the things they make and create are just absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The lore
they are very clever as well, like in terms of like, I don't like shitting on like things like this, but at the same time, they have made mistakes in the past and they openly admit they've made mistakes in the past, but then they continue to go around in this cycle where they keep doing it and they don't seem to change it.
Man, that's the thing. If you can't dump on the things that you love that are dear, like close to your heart, that's the only way, in my opinion, to be a true fan. is to be able to accept its faults, right?
Yeah.
That's the only way. Do you know what I mean? It's the only way that.
Yeah. Back onto Destiny again, damn it.
Yeah, we're going down a different rabbit hole again, aren't we?
No,
Supposed to talk about Hogwarts, Voldemort. Yeah.
I'm going to say it always comes around to relevance of what we've been talking about, though, so don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about it.
So carrying on with Hogwarts anyway. So the characters that we have are meant to be set in year 5. So you don't start from year 1 and go up to year 7.
Oh, okay.
You start off in year 5. So the character customization, they look a lot older than 11-year-olds, let's say. And from what I can sort of gather from that, it's probably going to be time locked. So you might finish sort of like the end of the year, but then when that story's done, you don't go into the next year. It just stays where it is. It's a little bit like Destiny did anyway. So obviously you play it for like 3 years, yet the campaign is set in stone. And then a week after the campaign's finished, you've got this whole new campaign, even though you've been playing for like 6 months since that finished, if that makes any sense at all. So I think that the time is going to be locked, so you will stay year 5 for the whole amount of time, but you will do so much in that sort of space of time. The difference in your character is the ability to perceive ancient magic that sets you apart from the other people. So
that's your element of chosen one.
Yeah. So does it make you feel special, basically?
Of course.
Yeah. So I think there's gonna have sort of like good and bad when it comes to these and how you perceive them. Will you be good or succumb to like the sinister ways of it? Will there be a choice?
Is that like an infamous thing? Can you choose whether to be good or bad?
Yeah.
Yes.
Incredible. Immediately, just went leagues up on that.
Yeah, I were about to say that I'd like if it's going to come out and it's going to like be decent, it's at least got to have a decent RPG like kind of setting. So being able to pick how and you want to play the game, which paths you take, like whether you want to like dabble into dark magic or
the character building is definitely one of my like piques my interest the most. I'm really curious to see how they're going to go about the RPG elements of it.
100%. And there's obviously you're going to have your antagonist in this. There's a villain with a mask that we see, and whether you succumb to the darkness or not, it's another Destiny reference there, but, you know, whether you succumb to it or not, I think you're still going to have to like have a final boss fight against a bad guy, but you may be a bad guy as well, if that makes any sort of sense.
Well, I mean, it can be taking the mantle, can't it? I'm the Dark Lord now.
Yeah. Just chop.
Do you know what really made my ears prick up was the beast taming.
Yeah, I was going to move on to that, you bastard.
Well, here we are.
That was literally the next bit. The next bit.
Now pick yourself up.
Come with me now.
I throw him a Destiny reference just to make him feel special, and he does this to me.
I'll tell you what, he's dragged you through the door. Now let's have you.
Yeah.
Beast taming, talk to me.
Beast taming. That was some of that really interested me, just with how are they going to do it? Like in terms of taming and actually having these things around with you.
Yeah, that's true. Like a companion system sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I wonder the diversity as well of animals in the world, because it's supposed to be. Am I right in thinking it is supposed to have the open world element, like a sandbox element?
Yeah, so you're gonna have the Forbidden Forest, Hogsmeade. There is a scene where you are in Ollivander's one shop, so Diagon Alley.
Yeah,
maybe a tutorial. Maybe you obviously there are Dementors in a corridor that could be Azkaban. You are on the back of a hippogriff flying to a coastal area in one of the scenes, so that could be another place that you could go to.
I hope they go all out, because if there's one thing that, let's be honest, if there's one thing that hasn't truly been explored, like in the Harry Potter world, is the Harry Potter world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean,
100%.
though? Like, it's so true. Like, you've seen so few places really dotted about, and you return to this place, and that's the place I've seen. This is a place I've seen. But to actually, I really hope they do go like, I'm talking like Witcher 3 on that map. I really do hope that they just make it ridiculously big with all sorts of beasties and creatures and side quests and all sorts of stuff.
I think they need to make it big. Like, it needs to be as big as The Witcher or something like that. It needs to be massive for it to really stretch its wings.
It's open, that's why they pushed it back.
It's probably why they made it single player as well.
Yeah.
Because running a server for something we see it with Destiny. Again, I'm going back to Destiny.
Who's doing it now? Look, we've left behind.
Yeah. We've seen it with Destiny, though, is Bungie's locked away certain worlds and planets because their servers, and they just can't keep up with it, and we'd end up with like a terabyte of game on a hard drive. It's just not feasible. It's not expected.
I mean, it's going to be one of those. If it's a big game, it's 80 gig minimum.
Oh yeah,
minimum.
100%. But what I did like seeing, though, going back to Scott's point about taming, was there's two scenes with a grab hook, grab hook or grab horn. I think it's grab horn. Yeah, grab horn. I don't know where I got grab hook from. With a grab horn, and there's a Slytherin student who's attacking one and then barrels out the way as it charges him, and then there's a Hufflepuff one where she's stroking the side of its face. So this is where I'm thinking maybe depending which house you pick depends on sort of like your class ability. So let's say Slytherins will be have an XP boost or maybe like an advantage when it comes to potions. Anything to do with that. Hufflepuff, maybe horticulture, care of magical beasts. Maybe they'll be the only ones that can tame these beasts and have them as companions, and maybe the other ones will just be you can call upon them when you need them. Sort of thing. We see it in a lot of games like World of Warcraft, which you mentioned earlier.
To be honest, I was going to say like Elder Scrolls. I was going to say I can imagine it almost being like, obviously, depending on what race you choose in Elder Scrolls, depending on what like gift you have for being that race, excuse me, and what you're proficient in and your actual stats and whatnot. So that could be again depending on those RPG elements and what they actually bring into it and how it can all come together to really work well. I'm hoping that that's the case, because rather than steer people away, because let's be honest, I'm not being funny, you are going to have to give some serious plus points to Hufflepuff before someone's straight in on that as their first choice, from my experience anyway.
I do think that'll be a thing as well. Each house will have different like a perk system almost. Like they'll do things differently.
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe it might be interesting if you didn't choose your house. It was like random.
Maybe a bit of a Fallout style goat situation where it asks you questions, and depending on your answers, it gives you this is what we recommend.
That'll
really
be Pottermore, won't it? Realistically, it'll be Pottermore.
I couldn't remember the name of it. That's exactly right, man. Yeah.
So I did that twice. I got Ravenclaw.
Together as what you wanted.
I got Ravenclaw and Gryffindor in an order that would surprise you.
I got mine first time.
Yeah, no, I got one or the other. I did it like 5 years apart. So my first one was Ravenclaw. The 5 year apart one was now Gryffindor. So just like with these, maybe your decisions change. Maybe your allegiances lie with other places, and maybe you can, well, I imagine you'll be able to create different characters and choose different houses anyway.
Yeah, surely.
So, but I'm thinking as well that maybe your decisions affect things later on. So let's, for example, fighting styles. Excuse the pun as well. But maybe Slytherin will be a bit more snaky when it comes to the fighting. Gryffindors be a bit more aggressive. Maybe Ravenclaws be a bit more strategic. And Hufflepuffs just run away and call a beast to come in and fight the battles. Or throw a plant at them. I'm thinking that'll be sort of like... we saw it in the Half-Blood Prince, for example, Sectum Sempra. I got that. I still got it in my head. In the bathroom where he hits Malfoy with it, and he starts bleeding from every orifice in his body. Maybe that's sort of like the Slytherin style of really darker sort of magic, whereas Gryffindors will be much more aggressive in that front. They'll be firing spells off left, right, and centre. And Ravenclaws are just reading a book while flicking their wand to like stir their tea while they find out a way to stop all this fighting. But yeah, I'm excited to see how your decision affects later on in the game.
Yeah, and actually like changes the world around you, because that's supposed to be the whole idea, isn't it? That you affect the world around you by your actions.
Yeah,
you change the outcome and whatnot. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if there is an end, shall we say, or unless it continues into something else. Be interesting to see if there's more than one ending, or if there are several endings, depending on choices, house, all sorts of stuff.
Well, there's got to be more than one ending, since you can be light or dark.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think.
Go on.
I think the storyline is going to be the same either way. I think you're going to go up against this masked antagonist. You're going to defeat him, but if you're good enough. Maybe like a Mass Effect kind of style way that you need to have certain like points and skills in this skill tree that you've got in order to actually defeat him. Maybe you will have to call upon certain tames and things like that and build like an army against him. Could be like that. That'd be pretty cool. They did it in Skyrim as well, so that's a good thing. You can choose a side of the war to be on, etc., etc. Build up an army. Maybe that's a thing. I think your decisions will affect different players, and maybe that's how you do build up a certain thing, or maybe it's just a 1v1 on Rust.
Mate, I'm gonna say, I reckon that the two ideas that I've sort of got in my head are the fact that it'd be a 1v1, like you say, 1v1. You're the chosen one, Harry Voldemort style, or it'll be like a Mass Effect 2 situation where if you get certain people on side and become friends with them, they all join you. Like you're saying, like as you get to like the end, if you will, depending on how obviously it comes to its climax. If you've got a lot of like enemies trying to stand in your way, maybe the friends that you've made come with, they help out, so it makes it easier, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
Very much like a Mass Effect 2 situation.
Yeah. That's exactly where I'm going for, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think would be good because, when it's, the ending anyway, I've forgotten the name of the last book, the Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
The ending of that, or towards the end, the final fight scene where it's like just an all-out war. McGonagall's I can't remember the incantation what she used, but when she gets the knights to come down to protect the school, shivers, mate, shivers. And I hope that this game has an ending similar to that, not the same, but you've got your teachers, you've got your sort of classic and very ancient magic that's surrounding Hogwarts that puts its own defenses up. And it's an all-out war. That would be fantastic.
Fingers crossed there's some wielding to be had. Not just detecting. We're talking, let's be having that ancient magic in the arsenal.
They just whip out Fluffy.
Yeah.
Just literally whip out Fluffies, but like, you're going to learn today.
Just open the door. Just what are you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the taming side of things, though, going back to that, that'd be so cool if you could tame Fluffy. Or like the creature, the Cerberus.
Cerberus.
It'd be so cool if you could tame a Cerberus. Because there's dragons in it and all. Like, we're going to be having dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it really will depend, to be fair. I want to know more about the different animals that exist. And sort of, you know what I mean? And depending on how many you can, or if it's a very specific, it's only like these 6 or whatever, or if it's you can pretty much tame anything if you've got the ability, D&D style roll, can you tame this mountain?
Well, that's what I kind of mean for the actual classes. Well, not classes, houses.
Yeah.
Like maybe there are certain creatures that only a certain house can tame. Like I said, the Grapphorn,
loyal to certain houses.
Yeah, it looks like it's a Hufflepuff thing. But we've got trolls in this. We've seen it. There's a troll in the dungeon. Cue Professor Quirrell. I'm just going to play that now.
Troll in the dungeon! Troll in the dungeon! Thought you ought to know.
I've forgotten what the horses are called now. The dead ones that you can only see if you've watched someone die.
I know what you mean. Yeah. That's the kind of pet I'd want.
Yeah, I forgot what they're called.
It's got to look badass.
Yeah. They're in it. You can see the actual carriage being pulled. I think there is a scene where you see those actual flying as well.
I didn't think forgetting the name of that thing had bugged me as much as it has. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's killed me as well, mate. Feel free to Google it while I'm talking.
I will.
Yeah.
Festrals.
Festrals, there we go.
Thank you. See, this is it, Steve, lad.
Yeah, that's why he's here.
Back in the game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I imagine... I don't think... I've forgotten the name. Hagrid. There we go. I don't think...
How can you forget that?
Because I was still thinking about Vestrals. Yeah. who's the bearded giant, but not giant, but kind of a giant. But
who's the potato from PS1?
Yeah, I don't think...
The potato from PS1.
Who's the potato?
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. Go.
I don't think Hagrid's alive at this point, but there's nothing to say that the giant race isn't there and in the forest. There's nothing to say that Lycans aren't in the forest. There's a lot of references. The fawns as well. They are called fawns. I'm sure they are. That we're saying that in the first Harry Potter film where they go into the Forbidden Forest, they're gonna be there clearly because that's their home, their territory. So I don't think we'll be able to tame those, but coming into contact with them will be a good thing.
Centaur, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
What about the giant spider? What's his name? Is it Aragog?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Aragog,
not gonna be there. I don't think Hagrid.
That's a shame.
Hagrid is.
Genuinely thought I'd butchered that then, or got the name of the spider.
No,
from
you
Lord of
nailed
the
it,
Rings.
man.
I was like,
Aragog.
oh god.
I'm hoping they do some sort of Ungoliant situation, Lord of the Rings, and just be like, oh, it's his dad, look. Just throw a giant spider in. That'd be sweet. Do you know what I mean? Come on,
So
they always get away with it.
if I'm remembering correctly, Hagrid was kicked out of Hogwarts while Dumbledore was a professor, not a head teacher. So
that's correct.
Everything to do with Hagrid will not be in this. It's too
no dice. Too early.
Whereas Dumbledore might be a first year at this point. He might be a second or even a fifth year. Same.
It'd be interesting to see a different groundskeeper. You know, like someone who like predates Hagrid. That'd be awesome to see. See what kind of character they'd make him.
Yeah, I don't even know whether there was a
was he like the first one?
I think a job was made for him given his backstory. Because obviously his mum was a giant. His dad was a muggle.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. Don't know how that worked out. I mean,
back of the net is how it works out.
Tinder
for Daddy boy, let me tell you.
Yep, he's definitely an ass man.
He'd have to be.
So, yeah, maybe there is. There's going to be loads of different teachers, obviously, that we're not aware of, but maybe there are references to them.
Yeah.
Maybe we see McGonagall. Maybe she's a student too. Who knows? There are certain things like there's so much lore that could be uncovered in this. And the reason why some of them are so powerful themselves. Like Dumbledore didn't get his power just from anywhere. He's definitely probably has some of this ancient magic that we're looking to get. So, you know.
The amount of things he's hiding is mental.
Oh,
yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah. If anything, Voldemort was the person who told the most truth. I don't think he lied.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. Technically,
no.
I'm gonna say no. It's you can't argue. And I'm not being funny, but think about it. He never lied, but Dumbledore was lying non-stop.
He manipulated Harry like hell.
Now's the villain, right? Rewatch through it, guys. Rewatch through it, right? And you tell me when you get to the end. Now's the bad guy. Harry's the real villain.
I'll tell you the real villain from this, and I don't even know whether I'm going to get hated for it or not, but I don't care.
Ooh, here we go.
J.K. Rowling is one of the most toxic people to her own universe that I've ever experienced from anything.
I think she let it get away way too easily. If you want to go down this road.
Yeah, she's not really involved that much with this game, is she?
No,
she's not.
Thank God. Because, like, I think the most sort of idiotic tweet I've ever seen her write was the one where she says, "Who said Hermione's not black?" Where she writes in her own book with her white hand, her fair skin, and it was like, I'll get the tweet and the actual reference up so it doesn't look like I'm being an idiot. But it wouldn't matter whether Hermione was black or not, but don't write that she's white in your own book and then say, no, she's black, just because it fits a trend. Like, that's more toxic. Yeah, you know, I'm going down a rabbit hole now, but...
No, let's not go down what you've done recently.
Yeah.
Madness.
I might just cut that out and just... No, I'm not. I'm gonna stick true, because I'm sure there's a website with J.K. Rowling's most ridiculous tweets. She's as bad as Trump.
She just come out with some absolutely ludicrous things, and at the end of the day, you should never be sorry for what you say.
While you're on about that, do you think with what she's recently done, that will affect how this game sells? This is talk about boycott.
What?
Who's boycotting?
Oh, it was the transgender...
The trans one that she went on about. And the game got announced just before, I believe it were. And then there was a whole thing about people boycotting everything to do with her, including said game.
Which has got nothing to do with her.
But it's set in her world. She's still getting.
Oh no, I know. I'm not arguing with you, mate. I was gonna say.
I know
it's just these people. Like, just go to the shop. Go to the shop or something. Just get out.
Some milk.
Just get out, get some fresh air, right?
Just bread and milk time now.
It's a video game. Just go to sleep. Honestly, have a nap.
Some people get really het up, don't they, about things on the internet.
Yeah,
honestly.
But she definitely is the worst thing to happen to that universe, and it's one that she's, and I'll put in quotation marks, created, because there's a lot of questionable copyright infringements that have kind of been picked up but haven't been picked up. But, you know, I really, really enjoy the world. Yeah. I do. I enjoy the universe of Harry Potter. I enjoyed the stories of Harry Potter. I enjoyed the comic relief books, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. They've made it into a nice film. Is it Quidditch Through the Ages?
Yep.
Good book. And is there going to be Quidditch in this game? Who knows? Could
be. If they do it again, if they do it properly, and if they really put some time into it and don't make it some stupid mini game, then I think it'll be spot on. That I think it's one of those things where you would literally get people branching off and spending the majority of their time on that.
Yeah.
Well, there is a rumour that it is in as a mini game as well as a card game like Gwent from Witcher.
Oh, what a surprise. Honestly, seriously. Just play Magic the Gathering and be done with it. Like, just stop messing around. Just play Magic the Gathering and move on. Like, oh, it's madness. They all have to get in on it these days. Check these cards out.
But with the thing that you said, I'm relaying back about 20 minutes now about the season pass. Seasons as well would be good in this. So you'd obviously have your Halloween, your winter solstice.
Might be so good if they did that.
And maybe they do have the Goblet of Fire.
Oh, that'd be...
Man.
Because that could open up certain different arenas, areas, we'll say. So you could go into the lake.
And, I was thinking about that earlier, legitimately. You know, when we're talking about creatures and what creatures there might be in the world, I was thinking of, like, in that lake, yeah. I didn't want to call them mermaids because they're not really. They're like more like sirens, but
yeah.
But yeah, I was
Water
literally
banshees.
thinking about that. Yeah, and that'd be amazing if they did something like that. Especially how I'm sure do they not reference the Goblet of Fire used to be a million times more brutal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that would be way better.
Mm-hmm.
A tasty 100 years prior, when it's definitely going to be more brutal.
And just think about it. I mean, like, obviously Harry had gillyweed, which is pathetic. Pathetic, mate. Like, pathetic. Victor Crumb turned his head into a shark.
Hacks,
A
mate.
shark!
Hacks, mate.
You know, Fleur Delacour had that little bubble around her head, you know, she can ferry off into whatever. You know, she nearly got non-starter there anyway.
I'm
Harry
going
had
to say,
save
didn't
it.
help though, did it?
Yeah, no. So obviously, Gillyweed or Shark Boy. The Adventures of Shark Boy and Gillyweed. That would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Adventures of Shark Boy and Gilly Girl.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was just about to say, man. Word for word.
Which brings me on to something else that I was thinking about, Animagus.
Yes.
Will you be able to drink the blood of a deer at the silver lightning of a full moon and turn into a weredeer?
Man, I'm thinking like
What?
side tree. You know, like
Where, dear?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking like, I don't think they'll do lycanthropy because I think that'll just be too difficult to have to escape the castle at night every time there's a full moon.
oh yeah, I think
and
you'll
run off
definitely
into the
get
grounds.
lycanthropes in the game, 100%. Like you
But I
know
don't think
they'll
we will
definitely
be
there. But no, I don't think you will be able to actually become one.
Yeah.
But I think like as like again like referencing Dragon Age, how you would go so far, you would discover something, and it would unlock a separate skill tree.
Yeah.
In that field, that could well be. In fact, funnily enough, I think that is legitimately one of them, even in Dragon Ages and Anime Age. But you get that separate one, and obviously you can choose what animal, and then upgrade said animal, and yeah, it could be interesting that.
Yeah, which would be good as well because obviously you could be a dog like Sirius Black. You could be a rat if you really wanted to, and you know, you could pick so many different animals you could be, and maybe again this could help you within if they ever did the Goblet of Fire because you could pick a fish.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
be a bit awkward if you're a bit too close to the beach rather than the actual water. You know, flopping about, but
Yeah, time it
but-
well.
yeah, there's so many different directions, but Animagus would be difficult to pull off, but very, very good to utilize.
Yeah, very
Exactly this-
rewarding, definitely. Yeah.
And pretty much, guys, that's all that I had to talk about. So, Steve, I'll pass the torch to you.
You pretty much covered everything I found, except one thing. Going
Yes.
back to the makers, with it being Avalanche, they're doing a next generation destruction system, as well as lore explaining how it all gets repaired. So you will be able to blow things up and then it come back later on. And
No way.
it look
So like when
look
you
like nothing's there.
flick a spell off and it like hits a wall, it'll actually blast rubble out of it.
Yeah, like or even.
No
Did
way.
you
That's
did
awesome.
you ever play Just Cause?
I was
With,
never a huge fan, to be fair, but Battlefield back in the day, where you would,
Oh,
you know,
I'm gonna say
blow holes in walls and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that'd be awesome. That.
I know
Hogwarts
these-
meets Battlefield.
I
Yeah.
was just about to say, yeah, I'm gonna be RPGing that one straight out the side of that dining hall, mate. Let me tell you.
Throw you on like a stick grenade.
Heads
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
back.
get some of this.
Fire in the hole! Yeah.
Honestly, straight on the broom and out.
That'll be really good.
Chuck it. Like, yeah, have that bosh. Boom.
Seriously, blast the whole lobby. See you later, guys. Run and just jump out.
Have you
Man.
seen the leaked footage as well that they did?
Yes.
The
If
one
it's-
where
Gameplay.
Yeah, there's leaked gameplay where he blows through a door with some goblins on the other side.
Ooh,
It's goblins,
I'm
isn't
not
it?
sure of that. It rings a bell, but I'm not
no,
sure.
Is it
Yeah.
goblins? I did. To be fair, mate, I nodded,
remember.
and I know that I nodded, but I haven't actually seen the lit gameplay, and I
can't
just
see you
feel
nodding.
like a liar right now because
Oh,
I nodded. I was
haven't
like,
seen
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
not
I've seen it.
leaked or
Yeah, I
anything.
have. And then I thought, no, I hadn't
No.
seen it. What am I on about?
no, I
think-
haven't.
Yeah,
I
he
think
does.
the
He
issue
does
we've
some sort
got-
of spell, and it just blows through, and then a goblin ends up stuck to a wall with an axe through it. I'm sure it's a goblin.
Oh, so it's going to be
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, apparently it's going to be very dark, more to kin of Deathly Hallows rather than.
I
like the
really
early books.
hope so, because like the whole sort of, you know, like feathers and fairy dust all around like Harry Potter does my head in. When it's like don't create something that's super dark, right? You are not allowed to create things that kill people immediately, torture them agonizingly, and then be like, no, we don't use that. That was silly.
Yeah, they've got
Do you
this
know what I
guy
mean?
here
Like,
who's tried
behave.
to kill a baby, but no.
This is what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh no, it does my head in. I can't see the realism in that kind of thing. And I know it sounds ridiculous in a fictional setting. I get it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Even in these fictional settings, come on, let's get real.
Harry Potter was quite soft, weren't it? For the,
unbelievably so,
Yeah.
man.
do
For
you know
how
for
it,
what was in it?
yeah. For
Like-
what it was, and for
Yeah.
the capabilities, and like I say, for the building blocks that J.K. Rowling created, to then be like, no, don't make it dark, even though you can kill people at the flick of your wrist. No, don't be silly. Can't be doing that.
The books definitely did a little bit better when it came to the sort of darker side of things.
Really?
They did, but they weren't 100% like properly dark. There were certain things in there that were kind of like, whoa. But I suppose it could just be down to when I actually read them. So like I said, the first book came out when I was 5.
Yeah, man, yeah.
So the way that I'm
I get
remembering
it.
it could be a bit darker than
And the
than
thing
what
is
it actually was. But
I never expected, like, I'm not the kind of person, you know, even for the stuff I'm into, I'm not saying, like, come on, I want you to be able to flick that wand and someone gets blown to pieces. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it needs to be super, super bloody and brutal, but you know what I mean? Like, in the context of it, you get people who dabble with dark magic. People die all the time. Like, it is a problem. You get the Death Eaters and this, that, and the other. People are dying. And even in, like I say, in the Harry Potter films, barely anybody died. Like, nobody died. And the few people that did die, obviously everybody's gutted. But let's be honest, they were massively side characters. Nobody to really write home about. And my biggest gripe with the ending of Harry Potter, hate me all you will, viewers, is Harry not dying. Why didn't he die? He should have died. There is no reason why he didn't. Zero reason. He was the final key. He was the final piece, right? Sacrifice. Do you know what I mean? That would have made it. He would have been an absolute hero. Statue outside Hogwarts. Legacy, mate. No, but
Viewers, they like got pitchforks like, get him!
he's just gonna honestly, he's just gonna fade into obscurity and die. That's all that's gonna happen.
Find him
for
on Twitch or PT64.
Come and speak to me. Let me tell you, and I will speak a lot plainer on stream. So come see me. Let me tell
Love
you,
it, bro.
Let me tell you, that was the final piece of the puzzle. You huge super fans, you got off lightly. Let me tell you.
I agree with parts of it. I do agree with you. He was the final Horcrux. He should have died, and then it should have been Ron or Hermione or McGonagall even.
You can't
Just
build that kind of
him.
like absolute crux in your lore and then go swapsies. You can't do that.
No,
you
no,
can't
no,
do
no.
that.
You missed
you
it,
made
though.
it.
No, I think you're wrong here because in the books he pulls out an Uno reverse card.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. Honestly, he's just like, but what you didn't know is you were using your wand the wrong way round. Do you know what I mean? It's just like nonsense. Like, and that is my biggest gripe, genuinely. I'm not saying I hate Harry Potter and I wanted him to die. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you can't create that basis, like I say, within your lore, build the whole thing up to it, this huge struggle to get it done, and then just be like, no, you can't do that. And that bugged me a lot.
I think Steve's gonna have such a fun time, like snipping these up, and just having it. PT64 goes on a rant.
No one said anything about Dobby. and he's
No.
your boy. Like
He is.
Yeah,
give him a
Dobby was
sock and
dark.
that's it. He'll fill
Dobby's
that up.
death was tragic.
When you
Dobby?
said Dobby was dark, I was thinking like he's got some
No.
kills under his belt as Dobby.
Dobby,
No.
hang on, because like this is where it kind of breaks off for me, because the last Harry Potter film I seen was The Goblet of Fire.
Oh, he's dead, bro.
Like,
Wow.
I've not. What?
Dobby's
Dobby's dead.
Dobby died.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dobby saved Harry's life
Yeah,
one last time.
Yeah.
he went down. Yeah, he went down.
Oh,
But he
what a
went down
guy.
in Harry's arms, and he was nicely tucked away on a beach. They apparated, and a knife was thrown, and Dobby took the knife. He took a sock, and then he took a knife.
I was going to say, did he have the sock with him?
No, he got
No.
socked in the back with a knife.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
On with House
that's a bit
Elves,
shit, to be
I
fair.
wonder if they'll do anything with House Elf Association. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but that
Right.
was created after. That was created. Hermione created that. She
Yeah.
founded that.
But not the association itself, but seeing all the house elves and how they were back then and how they were treated, obviously, in the kitchens and things like that.
Oh, I don't think there was much difference, personally, because if you remember rightly, Hermione says that the house elves have been treated the same way for hundreds of years. Or
Yeah.
Ron says that, and says
Right.
like they want to be treated like that.
I don't think there'll be any
blah, blah, blah.
difference, will there, in
No.
how they are in the films to how you see them in the game. They'll be exactly the same, just slave labour, basically.
As cool as it would be, in my opinion, if I was a dev, it'd be so far down the list of things that I'd want to like explore in the game and implement in. Just so that the albino Steve can sort of get his wand
I
off.
like my house elves.
Like,
The
come on,
same
Steve.
size as me.
No, I mean, I definitely know where you're coming from, Luke, in the sense of the amount of things within that universe that are a lot more sort of awe-inspiring, like, oh wow, like look at that, you know what I mean? But then again, at the
Cool.
same time, I've got to be with Steve and the fact that so many people are going to be like, oh my god, house elves, oh my god, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would
I'm
not be surprised if they're in there.
I'm looking out for Avalanche Studios / Avalanche Software / not quite Avalanche, but are Avalanche, and saying like, to be fair, like it's not a crucial part to the story. Maybe later on down the line they might implement a house elf that says everything's the same as what it's always been. My life is tragic, but I enjoy it. Give me a sock. But maybe not. And to be fair, I wouldn't blame the devs if they sacked off house elves and you just see them every now and then. Maybe they do like a little bit of running for you and find some ancient magic and say, here, like, I'll give you this for a crafty
Or what
week
if
off.
they're like little pests? Like they just shit under your pillow.
I think if anything, you'll probably just see them out and about as NPCs or like with NPCs.
Yeah.
How like the Malfoy family always like follow them around, isn't it? Like everywhere, like even out and about. You'll probably see that. You might just see them like wandering around, that kind of thing. But they might not put any huge detail into like really making them interactive. It might just be a case you see them in the world, like so many other things you'll just see in the world.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if nobody else has got anything else left to add, I think we'll end it on Dobby.
Yeah,
Dobby and
pay his
Dub.
respects to
Oh.
Dobby.
Dobby is dead.